즐거운 점심시간 되셨나요?
I hope you enjoyed your lunch. Now we will resume the best practices session of Global Korea Convention 2021. Currently, the presentations are being live streamed on the website of Global Korea Convention 2021. We provide simultaneous interpretation. Tune into Channel 1 for Korean and Channel 2 for English. Now we will hear the third presentation on the best practice. During this presentation, we will hear about the best practice of SUDOKWON Landfill Site Management Corporation or SL Corporation. Please welcome Kwon from SL Corporation with a big hand. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. I am Kwon of SUDOKWON Landfill Site Management Corporation or SL Corporation. Please allow me to begin my presentation now. Today, I will talk about the best practice of waste management in Korea based on the case of SL Corporation. These are the topics I'll cover today. I will first give you an introductory overview of SL Corporation, followed by our win-win relationship with the residents, followed by our main businesses, and then last but not least, our future plan. The purpose of SL Corporation establishment is to practice sound waste management as well as to maximize resource recovery. And our vision is to transform the world's largest landfill into the world's best environmental and cultural attraction. In 1991, we were established as a landfill O&M union, and in 2000, according to a relevant law, we became a public institution under the Ministry of the Environment. And then we started to conduct R&D activities after we established the R&D department in 2004. And we continue to promote the practices related to waste management since then. And we also installed and established a 50 megawatt landfill gas power plant. And until 2017, we have conducted a project based on this power plant. And we were able to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by about 3 million tons thanks to this project. Also, we have been involved in various international projects, including feasibility studies, development of master plans, and also installation of facilities across the world. There are 4 major landfill sites. Number 1 and number 2 landfill sites are already completed, and the 3rd landfill sites are in operation, and the 4th landfill site will start to be filled in with the waste after the 3rd landfill site is full. Currently, we have also established a 36-hole golf course on top of the 1st landfill site so that residents of the local community can make use of the land. The 2nd landfill became full in 2019, and since then we are getting ready to go through with a stabilization construction project. It can accommodate about 16 million tons of wastes, and the full capacity is about 230 million tons. Per year, a total of about 3,370 tons are carried into the landfill sites. And if you look at the breakdown, about 20% is accounted by construction and demolition waste, about 25% is accounted for by household waste, and about 57% is accounted for by general industrial wastes. Also, we bring in wastes from various regions, including Seoul, Incheon, and Gyeonggi-do Province. As you can see, this landfill site is located in Incheon, which is on the west of Seoul, and it's near Incheon International Airport as well. And in relation to household wastes, those that cannot be recycled are collected and also charged based on the volume. And as for the recyclable wastes like paper and plastic, they are categorized into paper, plastic, fabric, food, etc. And the recyclable wastes, especially the food wastes, are recycled into compost or animal feeds, or they are used for waste to energy conversion. And as for the recycling materials, they are sent to the transfer station and the recycling plant so that they could be recycled into the products, which can then be sold on the market. In 1995, Korea introduced the volume-based waste charging system, and since then, the Korean people started to dispose of unrecyclable wastes in the volume-based waste bag. And we as L Corporation is also responsible for this system. Also, we take actions including RDF and other waste to energy processes in order to turn wastes into useful materials, including RDF. If you buy one of those plastic bags for disposing of your unrecyclable waste, each bag costs about a couple of hundred of Korean won, which is a couple of cents. And this cost is then used to fund the operation of SL Corporation. And household waste, construction waste, industrial wastes are some of the types of the wastes that are disposed of. And you have a tipping fee charged by the waste volume. So municipal solid waste would cost about $60, construction and demolition waste would cost about $85, and industrial waste could vary from $28 to $117. And this money is then used to fund the operation and administration of landfills. Also, when you initially construct a landfill, that costs money. So the three cities or provinces basically fund the construction of the infrastructure in landfills. Also, the wastes that are carried into the landfills, as well as the landfill gases, could be sold for extra profits. And these profits can then be used to fund new projects. This shows one of the waste dumping sites of the past, which is Nanjido waste dumping site. Nanjido waste dumping site is an open dumping site, and it was operated for about 15 years, from 1978 to 1993. So at the end, it had about a 100-meter high of waste, and the total size of the land was about 27 million square meters. And at the end of this period, it had accumulated about 919 million cubic meter of garbage. So this was an open dumping site, which resulted in major environmental issues such as leachate, and also it discharged a lot of gas into the air, causing odor, air pollution, as well as fire. Furthermore, because the wastes were not processed properly, there was also the issue of various insects and scavengers and other waste pickers living on the dumping site. And this exacerbated the environmental pollution at this landfill. As you can see, after the wastes are dumped in the landfill, there were no efforts of odor removal or environmental preservation. And therefore, people had to manually pick recyclable wastes. And as you can see, there were cracks in these mountains of waste, which discharged methane, and also it discharged leachate, which was another environmental problem. Furthermore, the leachate produced from the dumping site leaked into the Han River nearby that caused serious water pollution, and also the methane emitted caused about 2,000 different fires at this dumping site. In addition, as you can see, there were many other environmental pollutions caused by the Nanjido waste dumping site. As you know, Nanjido dumping site has now become a park where the people of the local community can enjoy the beautiful greenery in the park. If you compare this against the landfills of today, as you can see, in the 1980s, the wastes were not processed adequately. However, if you look at the landfills of the present, the wastes, after they are dumped, are covered with soil for recovery, and we do the soil recovery once a day. We cover the waste with about 20 centimeter thick soil. So after 4 o'clock, which is when the dumping site closes its operating hour, then the daily soil recovery takes place, and this means that you will not be able to see any waste at the top of the landfill surface. Furthermore, in the past, methane was discharged from the landfill, but now methane is captured and used to generate electricity in a 50 megawatt landfill gas power plant. And this allows us to reduce greenhouse gases and therefore win carbon emissions reduction credits. And also, leachate is processed adequately. And we at SL Corporation have tried very hard to move away from the negative image of landfills, and we have various projects to turn existing landfills into parks. Now I would like to talk a little bit about the win-win relationship with the residents, which is another important part of our work. Based on the promotion of installation of waste disposal facilities, assistance, etc. in adjacent area Act, we have various projects to promote our relationship with the residents. We raise a fund for the residents to manage the landfills and develop appropriate plans for the residents and also implement various projects to support the residents. And the resident council also has a cooperative relationship with us to discuss the necessary amenities for residents, to discuss supportive projects for residents, and also to recommend monitoring members for the landfills. As you can see, there are 250 members in the resident task force team, 21 members in the resident council, 15 members of resident monitoring group, and also we have 6 representatives at the operating committee. And for 39,000 people living within 2-kilometer radius of the landfills, we provide 10% of the waste tipping fees for them, and this could be used as a fund to support the residents living near the landfills. This fund is used for providing regular medical checkups to the residents, providing scholarships for students, building sports parks and community centers and senior centers, and also to provide discounts of admission fees, as well as to fund overseas field trips. Also, this creates employment in the community because people in the local community can get a job inspecting wastes or monitoring the odor or gardening the area. So this allows us to create related jobs. Furthermore, there are festivals such as Dream Park Fall Festival where the residents can also take advantage of the opportunity and make some profits for themselves. This slide shows some of the public facilities that we helped fund build, and as you can see, there is a playground and there is a gate in front of the apartment complex, and then we have the senior centers, which are various facilities that we helped to fund in order to support the residents in the local community. These are some of the main facilities of our corporation. We have eco-friendly sanitary landfills, leachate treatment plants, and SRF plants, and also we have a 50 megawatt landfill gas power plant, and also we have a sludge recovery plant. Furthermore, we have a food wastewater biogas plant. We use methane produced this way in order to provide a source of fuel for the sludge recovery plant nearby, so that this could be used as an alternative fuel. This slide shows our integrated carry-in management system. All of the vehicles for collecting the wastes have to pass this point, and we have a technology to measure how much waste is being carried in real time, and also we can monitor the source of the waste as well as the types of the wastes. All of this information is collected in real time, and this information is then shared with the municipalities so that the municipalities can be charged with the tipping fee accordingly. And the vehicles for carrying in the wastes, after they unload the waste, they again have to pass the weight bridge. And at this point, you have the amount, you can basically calculate the amount that they've unloaded. And this allows us to calculate the tipping fee based on the weight of the waste carried in. And here you see the eco-friendly landfill. As you can see, we have landfill gas extraction wells, which capture the landfill gas. And this captured landfill gas is then sent to the LFG power plant so that it could be used to generate power. Also, the leachate that's produced is then passes through the landfill bottom impermeable liner to be sent to the leachate processing plant. So it goes through a sanitary and clean cleaning process and purifying process before it's discharged into the river or the sea. Also, we make sure that we prevent any odor problem by removing the odor from the air that's emitted from these facilities. Furthermore, we make sure that the insects are not actually discharged into the air. Now, please have a look at the leachate treatment plan. As you can see, we go through a physical and chemical treatment process. The original leachate, as you can see, is dark and black, but at the end of the treatment process, it's clean and clear, and it can be safely discharged into the river. SL Corporation is under the Ministry of the Environment, and therefore, we have to follow the strict criteria and standard for leachate treatment as designated by the government. And therefore, the treated leachate or the post-treatment leachate can be safely discharged into rivers and streams without posing any threat to living organisms in the rivers and streams. And we are very proud of such treatment technology. Now, please have a look at the 50 megawatt WTE facility. About 10,000 households are supplied with energy from this power plant, and if you calculate that into kilowatt hour, it would be about 350 million kilowatt hour per year. Furthermore, we reduce about 800,000 tons of carbon dioxide per year. And we are actually a project designated under the UNFCCC, and through this project, we can actually get extra profits, extra funding through carbon emissions reduction credits. So if you think about the fact that the credit is about 30,000 Korean won, then 800,000 tons of CO2 translates into a huge benefit in terms of carbon emissions reduction credits. Also, we have revenue from power sales, which amounts to about 35 billion Korean won per year. If you look at the bottom of the slide, as you can see, we have a 50 megawatt power plant using landfill gas, and this captures landfill gas from the first as well as the second landfill site to generate electricity. Also, we have biogas plants.
아까 말씀드렸던 것처럼 500톤짜리
So we have a biogas plant with a capacity of about 500 ton of food waste water, but we also have a 2.4 megawatt power plant. This allows us to treat about 800 ton of food waste water per day. And the total investment is about 35 million Korean won. If you look at the food waste water biogas generation collection facility. It can treat about 500 tons of food wastewater per day, and the methane produced thereby is then used as a fuel in the nearby sludge recovery facility. Also, we have various new technologies and patents. In order to become an organization specialized in waste treatment, we're involved in various independent and joint research as well as technology development. Furthermore, in order to extend our technological exchange in the domain of resource circulation, we have hosted conferences including Dream Park Resource Circulation Forum. Also, we are very deeply involved in the air environment monitoring. We have developed an integrated air monitoring system so that we can prevent odor in real time, and we can also prevent air pollution in real time to minimize the impact of landfills on the nearby environment. As a result of this monitoring system, we have reduced the complaints from the residents to near zero. Furthermore, our corporation is involved in various overseas businesses and overseas projects through cooperation. We sign MOUs with other countries, we develop master plans, we also carry out feasibility studies, pre-feasibility studies, and also we provide support in terms of the construction and operation of the landfills in other countries. Before COVID, every year, about 4,000 public officials from other countries would visit us to learn from us. But since COVID, we were not able to welcome these people from overseas. But once we overcome COVID, then we definitely hope to resume these visits from the overseas public officials. Now, I would like to give you some examples of our actual projects that were carried out overseas. So there was this joint study on solid waste management in Punjab of Pakistan. This was financed by KOICA and World Bank. And the area of the project was Punjab in Pakistan, and we carried out a study on how to develop technical, institutional, financial, and other measures to improve solid waste management in Punjab, Pakistan. And we also had a training workshop in Korea where we invited people from Pakistan. So we invited people from the municipalities, the central government, as well as the industries of Pakistan, who came to our corporation and they completed our training program. As a result, we were able to transfer our technology to Pakistan, and also we were able to have various discussions about future cooperation with Pakistan as well. And now our next project was Northern Mindanao Sanitary Landfill Construction Feasibility Study. And our budget was about $0.1 million for the feasibility study. This was our very first cooperative project with the Philippines. And once we have the financing from EDCF, then we do plan to develop a follow-up project to this. Next, we have an Lfg Power Project, the new sanitary landfill project in Peru. The project took place from March to October of 2012. And this was funded by KT, or Korea Environmental Industry Technology Institute. So the aim of this project was to carry out a feasibility study for a potential Lfg power and new sanitary landfill project. We signed an MOU with the municipality in Peru, and also we had people from the municipality of Peru come over to the corporation to learn from us. Also, we have a consulting project on waste treatment. Now, this particular project was funded by Exim Bank, and this was a project where we built a waste treatment site in Mozambique, and we also provided a consultation. In Mozambique, we provided technical consulting for construction of waste treatment site, and also we provided educational training in Mozambique. And this is actually a project that's still ongoing. Our next project was an integrated waste management pilot project in Sri Lanka. It took place from September 2008 to July 2015. The capacity of the landfill is about 20,000 square meters, and the leachate treatment facility had a capacity of about 40 tons per day. This project was financed by KOICA,
사업이 추진되었고
and
비용 중에
of the project cost,
71억 원 중에 18억 원은 스리랑카에서 부담을 하였고
1.8 billion Korean won was funded by Sri Lanka government, and 5.3 billion Korean won was funded by KOICA. The aim of this project was to dispatch experts to Sri Lanka to construct the landfills, as well as to operate and manage the landfills, and also to supervise the construction as project manager. And we also provided training on policy and O&M right here in Korea. So this allowed the very first sanitary landfill to be built in Sri Lanka, and this became one of the most visited places in Sri Lanka by related personnel.
그 이후에
And then we had another project with KOICA, which was a follow-up project that took place from December 2018 to September 2020. So this was a 22-month project. Again, this was a project with Sri Lanka, but this time the project was conducted only by us, SL Corporation. The aim of the project was to identify problems in O&M and suggest solutions, and also to provide repair, equipment support, as well as training.
가업의 범위로는 1년간
As for the work scope, we dispatched 2 experts to the site for a year so that they can transfer technology on landfill management and leachate treatment. Also, we provided about 125 units of 64 types of machinery, as well as the pumps. And also we provided training, and also we provided repair, replacement, and improvement of the facilities. As you can see, we provided facility repair, replacement, and improvement for 12 different parts, including replacing PE pipes with vertical LFG wells, and also we repaired geotextiles on landfill slopes. Also, in areas where they did not have an electric fence, we installed the fences, and also we installed leachate flow meters, and also we provided training in this respect. Furthermore, every month we provided training for the relevant personnel. And at the end of the training, we had a proficiency level test. And for the public officials who passed this test, we issued a certificate of training. And this project took place as a feasibility study in Mongolia. The project took place from May 2020 to May 2021, so it lasted for about 13 months. And this was financed by the Korea Environment Corporation, and the project was conducted by SL Corporation and Yushin. The aim was to execute feasibility study and also to carry out LFG density analysis, as well as to identify adequate ways to utilize LFG. The role of SL Corporation in the project was to promote international cooperation between the Korean and Mongolian government, and also to execute site surveys of the NED's landfill, as well as to analyze LFG. And our future plan is to carry out a preliminary design review of LFG facility, as well as to go on to the main project of installing LFG utilization facility. So as you can see, SL Corporation has been involved in various international cooperation. In 2014, we had a training course for the public officials in Sri Lanka who actually came to us, and they learned about the different cases in Korea, and they learned about the various skills and know-how. In 2015, we had a training course for environment related public officials from Indonesia. Furthermore, we work hard to build international networks. We take part in GCF workshop, and we have shared our know-how in waste management as well as waste to energy. Also, we took part in the World Bank Green Tech Forum in order to share our knowledge.
본 사업은 본 슬라이드는 2014년
On this slide, you see pictures from 2014 Incheon Asian Games.
일내립장은 말씀했던 것처럼 이미
This
골프장으로
used to be a landfill. This was transformed into a golf course, as you can see.
2014년도에
And it was on this landfill that the Incheon Asian Games golf game was held.
유지를 활용해서
Furthermore, we used the vacant lots to
수영장에서는
build a swimming pool where
다른 유휴부지에서는 승마 게임이 개최된 바 있습니다.
water polo game was held, and also a horse riding
일단 네트워크를 구축하기 위해서
stadium was built, which was used for Incheon Asian Games.
프로그램도 진행을 하고 있습니다.
Also, we have wildflower festivals in the spring and the autumn so that residents of the local community can enjoy their time free of charge. And
아울러 미래에는 저희 공사
in the future,
주변 지역 주민들이
we have a plan to further promote the surrounding environment of these landfills, including building a theme park.
이상
With this, I would like to conclude my presentation. Thank you.
네, 발표 잘 들었습니다.
Thank you very much for your
이제는
presentation.
발표에 대한
And now we will take questions on the presentation. If you have any question, please raise your hand and you will be provided with the microphone.
먼저 권희동 부장님의 발표 감사히 잘
Thank you for your
들었습니다.
presentation, Mr.
다른
Kwon.
사업과는 다르게
Unlike other
공동
projects,
사업을 오랜 기간
I
걸쳐
can see
두 번
that you have
이루어졌는데
carried out 2 rounds of project with Sri Lanka, and you had a follow-up O&M project with Sri Lanka. Can you tell me the implications of this O&M project in Sri Lanka? Yes, of course.
사업을 하는 동안
During the overseas project, I had an opportunity to visit many landfills in many different countries.
용상 원조 기관에
And
내립장을 건설할 때
when you build a landfill, you need various policy funding as well as funding from different international organizations. We've had such cases in Mongolia, in Nepal,
베트남,
Vietnam,
인도네시아 등에 있습니다.
and Indonesia.
그런 내립장들
However,
나중에는
after these landfills are
내립장을 어떻게
become full, a lot of the countries are not sure about how to manage these full landfills, and they usually become unsanitary and open landfills. And in order to address this problem, our corporation wanted to share our skills and expertise about how to operate and manage these landfills after they become full. That's how you can basically move toward an eco-friendly direction in landfill management. And that's why we followed up with an O&M project after the establishment project, so that we were able to actually go a step further in supporting these countries.
질문이 있으신 분 계신가요?
Are there any other questions from the floor?
저 역시도 발표를 잘
Thank you very much for your presentation. Recently, in line with the global climate action,
여쭤봐도 되겠습니까?
so in line with the global climate action, what is SL Corporation doing on this front? Yes, of course, climate change is a big keyword for the global community, and reducing greenhouse gases is something that's on everybody's mind. Recently, COP26 was held in the UK, and now the global community is stepping up its effort to reduce greenhouse gases following the resolution reached in COP26. And President Moon announced a vision to reduce greenhouse gases by 40% by 2030. As a public institute under the Ministry of Environment, we're also involved in various projects in and outside of Korea to reduce greenhouse gases, and we hope to be involved in more projects in the future as well. For example, the project that I introduced about Mongolia, after establishment of the landfills, we have a plan to start a project to reduce greenhouse gases by capturing the landfill gases. By doing so, we will be able to take advantage of these reductions, and this could actually contribute to Korea's own greenhouse gas reduction goal. Furthermore, Mongolian government will benefit from this project, because they will also be able to see a reduction in greenhouse gases, and they would be able to get some greenhouse gas emissions credits from this project. And therefore, this would be a win-win and mutually beneficial project for both Mongolia and Korea. Also, we have a plan for similar projects in the Middle East. We do get requests from the Middle East about capturing landfill gases or using solar power to reduce greenhouse gases. And SL Corporation hopes to continue introducing these projects in other countries so that we can contribute to our own goal of reducing greenhouse gases in Korea. And this could actually help the companies in Korea enter the international market with these carbon credits. Thank you very much for the answer. Are there any other questions from the floor? If not, we will conclude the third part of the best practices session today. We will take a short break and we will resume at 3 o'clock. We will see you soon. Thank you.